What's up, boys? I'm here to give you guys the best bets, my parlay, and all of my locks for this weekend's card at the Apex Center. It's going to be Taira versus Sung Park. It was supposed to be my boy Almir Albizi versus Taira, but they pulled Almir Albizi due to unknown reasons, unspecified reasons, which I find a little odd. So they kind of scrambled and got my boy Sung Park, who only has 3 fights in the UFC. He's 10-0. He's not even ranked, and he's fighting a dude who's ranked 7. Or 6, all right? So that's why if you're looking at this main event line and you're like, why is Taira almost minus 400? It's because he's taking this on a short notice Sung Park, all right? We're going to get to the main event. When we get to it, there's not a lot of crazy underdogs. Like you see Danny Silva plus 310 here. There's another plus 330 with Nathan Fletcher. And there's a plus 390 here, plus 420. There's nothing crazy, nothing really too insane like the plus 800s we've seen every once in a while. But the first fight that we're going to add on our parlay, or something that we're going to lock in, is Martisios Rubetzky versus Chris Duncan. Now, this fight is going to be an absolute banger. Martisios Rubetzky is coming off of an absolute war against Maitiki Bek or Bellotti. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. In my opinion, fight of the year candidate. An absolute war. Both men showed complete heart and skill. My boy Bellotti had a bowl over his eye. It looked ridiculous. It looked worse than what we saw last weekend, okay? So, my boy Martisios Rubetzky is coming in there with some heavy hands, but we haven't seen him since that Bellotti fight, and he did take a lot of damage. That fight was almost a year ago. It was in October 26th of 2024. All right. Chris Duncan, on the other hand, is on a 2-fight winning streak, both by round 1 guillotine choke against Balaji Oke, and then a round 2 guillotine choke against Jordan Vucenic, who the UFC cut right after this fight. Okay, previously to this, Chris Duncan dropped a fight against Manuel Torres where he got put in a rear naked choke in the first round. All right, I'm hoping that I get to see my boy Rubetzky go out there and handle some business, but I'm going to be honest with you. Chris Duncan submission plus 900. Plus 900. Chris Duncan. Where are you, Chris Duncan? Chris Duncan has only won 3 fights via submission, okay, his whole professional career, but his last 2 were by submission, so it seems like he might be working on a little something right now, okay? I think my boy Chris Duncan is working, so we're going to lock in Chris Duncan via submission. Why are we on basketball? Why are we on basketball right now? Get me out of that. Put me back in the UFC, okay? We have bets to make, okay? We're taking Chris Duncan via submission plus 900. All right, boys. So the second fight that I'm looking at right now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, Esteban Rivabix versus Elvis Better. Now, they're just handing Esteban Rivabix a free win here, but I think I'm going to have to go with like a method of victory. 50% of his wins, Esteban Rivabix, come from KO TKO, and 36 come from submission. He's only had 4 fights go to decision. He's 50-50 with the judges, all right? His last fight, he lost decision split against Nasserat, which he did lose that fight. It shouldn't have been a split. But don't forget, this dude has beaten Terrence McKinney, head kick KO in the first round. He beat Daniel Zellhuberger, all right, decision split. Dude has been on an absolute tear, all right? Those 2 names are pretty high value, in my opinion. Now, Elvis Barrier is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak where he just got knocked out in the 3rd round by Joel Alvarez, all right? So we are not betting on Elvis Barner, but Esteban Rivabix is minus 240. Honestly, that's a little too crazy. Dang, DraftKings don't even have anything up. They don't even have any of the lines up for this fight. But I would be taking my boy Esteban for KO TKO, if I'm going to be honest with you, if they had it up, but they didn't. So we would add that to our parlay for sure. So we got Chris Duncan to win by submission, plus 900. Esteban Rivabix, KO TKO, unknown. I'm going to say probably like a plus 500 here. Now, moving on, boys, to another lock that is calling my name. Is Neil Magny being an underdog, right? So I find that a little bit disrespectful. He's fighting somebody named Luzu Zalewski, okay? Where in his last 4 fights, he's won 1 of them. Okay, he's coming off of a loss against Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where he got knocked out in the second round. He beat up Zach Scroggin in the first round, knocked him out. Lost the fight with the judges against Randy Brown, and then had a draw against Renat Faradinkov. Okay, so my boy Neil Magny, though, in his last 4 has also won only one fight, and it was against Mike Mallet, and he knocked him out in the 3rd round. But the 3 that he lost, one was against Ian Gary, one was against Michael Morales, one was against Carlos Prates. He's been looking damn good. Neil Magny as an underdog is absolutely disrespectful, and I'm here for it. You want to pay me? You want to pay me? I'm fine with that. We are adding that to our parlay. Now, okay, hold on uno second. Okay, boys? Uno momento. Okay, see? Because I want to show you guys where this parlay is happening at for... There you go. But then you guys can't see my face. All right, so we'll just edit it in. I'll edit it in at the end so you guys can see the whole parlay, all right? But we have Chris Duncan to win by submission. Whoa, chill out. Chill out, DraftKings, okay? Neil Magny, money line. We're going to go Chris Duncan money line because they did not have any of the statistics up for my boy Chris Duncan. But we're taking Chris Duncan all day, all right? So, what are we looking at next? I'm looking at this Kevin Vallejos versus Danny Silva fight. Where are you, Kevin Vallejos? Kevin Vallejos is a minus 395. All right, that's a little outrageous. He's a really good prospect. I like Kevin Vallejos. He's 15-1. The only person he's ever lost a fight to was against Gene Silva, and he's the only person to take Gene Silva to the judges. All right, rewatch that fight. Pretty solid. He definitely lost. He got outclassed, but he showed some heart. He showed some technical prowess. I'm definitely going to be going with my boy Kevin Vallejos here, but this line is ridiculous. Maybe I can go under 2 rounds, under 2.5 rounds for Kevin Vallejos. Danny Silva might be an issue for him, though. I don't know if I want to do that. They might take this to the judges. Danny Silva, if you don't know now, you know, is 10-1. He's only lost a fight to Kanan Kawabi in the LFA, and that was all the way in 2022. He's had one fight in 2025. Lucas Almeida made it to the judges, split decision. I think we're just going to have to go Kevin Vallejos money line here. I'm not going to lie. I don't really want to do that, but we're going to have to. All right? Moving on, boys, to another fight that kind of has my eyeballs looking at it, and it's glistening. Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. Now, Tresean Gore, I like Tresean Gore. I'm a big fan of Tresean Gore, but what really sucks is he's only had 8 fights professionally, and he's 5-3. Not the best record. You're 1 loss away from 5-4, and then you're almost 50-50 every time you walk out to the octagon, which that's not very good. You know what I mean? But he's facing a savage. Rodolfo Vieira just lost a fight against Andre Petroski. He made it to the judges, though. He didn't get absolutely put. He had a grappling match against Derek Brunson, which he won in the 1st round, arm triangle choke. He did submit Arman Petrosian round 1 arm triangle choke. He submitted Cody Brundage arm triangle choke. I think we just need to watch out for the arm triangle choke, okay, from Rodolfo Vieira. All right, they don't have the lines up for this fight either. Now, I do want to go submission Rodolfo Vieira, even though I like personally don't want to bet against my boy Tresean Gore. I like Tresean Gore, okay? Something about his character speaks to my soul, all right? I want to see my boy win in life, but it just seems like the UFC is throwing him just straight curveballs here. We're just going to skip that fight. I was going to say, you know what, let's lock in Tresean Gore. He got some good underdog value, but I'm going to be honest with you. Boys, I do not think that he does. Moving on to the next fight that actually has my eye. Ryan Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. Now, you're looking at this line. Where is this line? Nakamura, right here. Plus 330 for my boy Nathan Fletcher. Now, Nathan Fletcher is 9-2. He's coming off of a loss against Colin Logren, who is an absolute savage. He just beat Zigamas Ramaska, who I have no idea who he is, and he did drop a fight against Kalan Ofi, which was an exhibition fight all the way in 2024. All right? I do not think Nathan Fletcher has what it takes to take on Renara Nakamura. Renara Nakamura looks like just a beast. He looks like a PED horse trader, all right? He looks like he's taking all the things the horses should be taking. I'm going to be honest with you, man. He's coming off of a loss, though, against Munu Guruov at UFC 311, which just might have just slipped my mind. I do not remember this fight at all. I cannot even tell you if I ever seen this dude ever in my life talking about Raya Nakamura. All right. That line is a little bit outrageous, but I kind of see where my boy's minus 425. He literally looks like he's taking the things that horses should be taking if you're catching my drift here. So I want to bet on on Nathan Fletcher. I'm still thinking about Kevin Vallejos, but we're not going to do it. I'm not going to put my statistics and my word as a MMA YouTuber on Nathan Fletcher. I'm not. Sadly, I'm not. You know what? I'm thinking about it. It's really itching at me. I'm not. Something's telling me not to do it. We're not going to do it. Let's talk about this main event. Tatsuro Taira versus Hong Sung Park. Now, Tatsuro Taira, obviously, let me just break this down for you if you didn't know. We're at 125 pounds. It's going to be a 5-round fight. Obviously, it's the main event. These dudes at 125 pounds are seeing the judges it's a guarantee. Guarantee this fight is making it to a decision. To be fair, Tatsuro Taira in his last 2 wins has not seen the judges. He did drop a fight against Brandon Royval. It says split, but in my opinion, he got his ass wiped up by Brandon Royval. Okay, it was not even close in my professional opinion. I keep saying personal, but now it's a professional opinion. All right, we do this shit every single day. Professionally, Brandon Royval mixed you up, Tatsuro Taira, and now you're on you're looking for the rebound. All right, the UFC, I think, just shot an absolute cannonball at you with my boy Hong Sung Park. Hong Sung Park has not lost a fight since 2014, and it was kickboxing. Okay, now it seems like ever since he dropped that kickboxing bout, he said, you know what? We're going into MMA, and I'm going to be submitting people. 50% of this dude's wins come via submission. 40% come by knockout when he's seen the judges one time and the judges agreed with his artwork that he had going on over there in the octagon. All right, so I don't believe that this fight is going to see the judges. I think we're going to be seeing a Hong Sung Park knockout, or a submission. My boy's coming off of knocking out Carlos Hernandez out cold in the... Oh, no. He choked him out. I'm so sorry for spreading misinformation. You know what I mean? He did choke him out. I thought he knocked him out cold. I'm misreading. I have like 4 different charts open on this monitor. All right, boys. The things I do for you, boys. We're all making money here. We're making bets over here, boys. All right. Listen. So far, we have Chris Duncan to win by submission plus 900. That's a lock. Lock that in. Neil Magny plus 164. I like that a lot. Chris Duncan plus 170. I'm in there. Kevin Vallejos minus 395. And I think, boys, we are going to be going Hong Sung Park against Tatsuro Taira. Something is telling me this dude took this fight on short notice. He's not even ranked, fighting somebody ranked 6 in the rankings. This could be the Joshua Van story of, Joshua Van is in 125 pounds. What am I on about? This could be the new Joshua Van story, all right? The new Dan Ige story, taking fights on short notice and blasting through your opponents, all right? So we got Hong Sung Park plus 295. Kevin Vallejos minus 395. Chris Duncan plus 170. Neil Magny plus 164. Chris Duncan to win by some. That's why, because we have Chris Duncan twice. What dummies, huh? So Hong Sung Park plus 295, Kevin Vallejos minus 395, Neil Magny plus 164, and Chris Duncan to win via submission plus 900. We are looking at a parlay of plus 12,000. If we put 50 on that, that's $6,000, boys. We will be locking this in. All right, I don't know if I'm putting 50 on it or 25, but either decimal amount is going to be going down, all right? Either $50 or $25 on this parlay, all right? I will be posting my review on how our parlay went. So far, we are 50% from the free throw line, all right? We are 2 for 4. This is our second time posting our actual locks. These are our 4 locks of this card, okay? Hong Sung Park is going to be Tatsuro Taira. Kevin Vallejos, I don't even think I need to tell you what he's going to do to Danny Silva. Neil Magny is being overlooked like absolutely ridiculous. And Chris Duncan is going to submit my boy Mauricios Rubetsky. I hate to say it, but he hasn't been in the octagon for a gang of time. All right, boys? Listen, let's go get this money. Let's lock this in. The parlay is up on screen. I'm going to take this off. The parlay is up on screen. All right? Lock it in. Screenshot it. I'll catch you guys later. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. So.